friend, my beautiful partner. She isn't, but I'm just making this up. Give it up for the one, the only Holestar! Walking to a hotbed there, didn't I?
Okay, thank you.
Holy moly. Oh, just
okay, fine.
Here we go.
I've been told I can
So, tonight is about hate. And I'm looking around the room and I think a lot of people have been victims of hate.
Yes,
in some form or another.
Yeah.
And I'm going to exercise a little demon of mine that I've lived with for quite some time. And that's bullies.
Yes, thank you.
Who's been bullied in this room? Yes. Who's been called faggot, queer, cunt, bastard, cunt, wanker, faggoty thing, you there? Everybody?
Yes.
Large percent of the room, so that's fabulous. So let's hate on the bullies. So David Beckham, Tom Cruise, Christina Aguilera, Kate Winslet, well, Tom Cruise you can actually imagine why, but they were all bullied at school.
Yeah, they certainly have.
As was I. Are you going to just like parrot me all night, sweetheart?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, that's why I've got an echo. It's stereo. Fabulous. So, let me see. I was bullied from a very young age. Hard to believe now. Look at me now. Aren't I fabulous? Well, fuck them, I said. But at the time it was very hard.
Yeah,
it was very painful, and you hear a lot of things. And those who say that actions hurt and words don't are lying.
Oh, bullshit.
Why is that, dear? Want to engage with me or is that into my show? Do you? No, come here, seriously. If you're going to sit there and parrot me, come and join me and say your piece.
Ooh.
No? No?
No.
Shall I carry on?
You go for it.
Thank you. Anyway. So yes, I was bullied. So fucking what? Get over it, I say. Yes, there were a couple of times when I was punched in the playground. Once before biology and once before chemistry. Hence, I don't like science very much. There was one time I was beaten up by 3 girls for no particular reason, except I spoke to an ex-boyfriend of mine when I was a practicing heterosexual. Now, she didn't like the fact that I spoke to Richard in town, and she didn't want to beat me up herself, so she had 3 of her friends beat me up. And it was in an alleyway, and I was walking home one night, and they dragged me across the bridge and beat the shit out of me. And it hurt. And I had a big bulge at the back of my head for quite some time, and the whole of my thigh was black. And I thought, you know what, 1-on-1, fair enough. 3, no, I will get you, my pretties. So a few weeks later, I saw the youngest and the gobbiest of the 3, Emma Davis, in town, came up to me, started blah, 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 blah. I said, go on and hit me, fine. I got to the point where I really didn't care anymore. And she kept going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And eventually I smacked her in the face! And she hit the floor. And I looked at my fist and I was like, my God, I never hit it back before a bully. Usually I just stand there quivering. So I grabbed her by the hair and I pulled her up, and I said, no, fucking hit me, you bitch. And threw her away. And I said, tell your little friends I'll be back for them too, because I was on vengeance hunt by then, ladies and gentlemen. I thought, don't fuck with me, I'll get you all. But I gave up because they came and kissed my ass and said, oh, it wasn't me, it was nothing to do with it. I was lying on the floor while you kicked the shit out of me, I remember. So you're on my shit list. Another person on my shit list? Tony Bennett, not the singer, but when I do hear his songs I get a little bit of a quiver. Because I was in the army, my name is Holestar, so I was called Private Hole. That's a true story. As a child I got quite a lot of use being called Hole, and I heard all the names. Alcohol was my favourite one, I think. And I used it to my advantage as my arse name. And this guy didn't like me, Corporal Tony Bennett. Now my whole unit were off to Bosnia, and I was about to leave the army because a medical condition I had was very boring. Not related to stick, this was Glastonbury training on stage, blah blah blah. Not nice, but hey. And he decided to take it upon himself to abuse me. I'm not sure to this day, but I think it was because he flirted with all the girls and I chose not to go along with it. He was a very attractive guy, he had a very attractive wife. he was just a complete knob, and I wasn't interested in his crap. So I just ignored it, and because of that, I got a feeling that's why he might have picked on me in front of a lot of people. And people said to me, why don't you report him? I'll back you up. And I said, well, no. You know, you don't do that in the army. You really don't. And he kept picking on me, and he drove past me one time. Oh, there she goes. And he was going past in his car, and he looked in his rearview mirror at me, and he was staring at me, crawling along. And I was scared, and I had that knot in my stomach from when I was a child, and people used to call me names and corner me against a wall. And I just ignored it. And then one day I was called into his office, hangar, where everyone worked. And he decided to start shouting at me. Now this was an interesting time, because he was a corporal, and me being Private Hole, yes, you may laugh at that. Little stare. And he called me in, he was in civilian clothes, so I thought, well, there's no ranking here, we're both in civilians. So he started shouting at me and shouting at me and shouting at me. And eventually I snapped and I said, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Woo! Woo! And he froze. All this time this guy was giving me abuse. And I stood and took it. And I snapped. And I carried on. What's your fucking problem? I've done fuck all to you. You give me abuse in front of people for months on end. What the fuck have I done? He didn't know. And he just started going on and on and on and on and on. And so I just screamed and called him a cunt. Like that word. I left. So that's the last time I allowed myself to be bullied. Now those who think it's funny to bully, you know, people say, oh, they've been bullied themselves, well, tough fucking shit. You wonder why a lot of us freaks and trannies and queers all congregate together. It's because we all come from little backgrounds, and we might have actually been exposed to bullying in some form or other, in all little corners of the world that bring us all here to London. And people like London, I fucking love it. Berlin, New York, London is actually fucking amazing right now.
Yep.
As we're all here, so let's do it for London. Thank you very much. And for all those people that I chatted about earlier, I'm going to sing a little song about them before I go. Now, I went through my little list of things. I went through Fighter by Christina Aguilera, and Stronger by Britney, and Survivor by Destiny's Child. But I went through them all, and I came up with this little number. Join in if you know. Thanks very much. When I get mad and I get pissed, I grab my pen and I write down a list of all the people who won't be mad. You make my checklist. For all the ones who found me out, for all the ones who fill my head with doubt, you fucking whack me to shit too bad. You make my checklist.
those cannibals that were childhood demons for your entertainment. Now,